Hey, let me put my face in and switch to present mode. Hey, there's me. I gotta tell you, I can't wait until I don't have to look at my dumb face on the camera anymore. So sick of that. Talking about not good for your self-esteem. Welcome back sporadically over the first 2.5 weeks. So this is just some slides to go over what's going to happen. And then I was goofing around with the Bitmoji thing. So I am on the right here. This is me over here. This is not me, nor am I the drum. Okay. Here's the schedule that we have for this coming up for the next 2.5 weeks. I will see Group B people on Thursday. If you notice this, how this goes, it's set up so that we can see half of you during the first half of the week and the second half of you the second half of the week. So Group A people are on Monday and Tuesday. They're in person. So their schedule then is 1 through 5 in the morning. And then on Tuesday, they do the second half of their schedule, so 6 through 9. Group B and C, both of you are also remote during those times. So we are meeting all together. Just the Group A people are in the room with me Monday and Tuesday. And then in the afternoons, we'll do the part of the schedule that we didn't do already, but then that's fully remote. So everybody will be remote and we'll be meeting in our Google Meet. Then Wednesdays at this point are still professional development and planning days for teachers. So it's still attendance question and catching up on work that you missed. I'm hearing rumors that that's going to change. Eventually, we are going to go to 5 days where I think Wednesday will stay remote, but I don't know that for sure. Then, of course, in hybrid here, we're going to go Thursday and Friday will be the Group B people in person. So you'll show up Thursday, Group B people. I'll see you this Thursday. It'll be 1 through 4 and part of 5. And then for Group B on Friday, it'll be 6 through 9. So Ms. Benoit's here with me too. I'm looking at this schedule, Ms. Benoit, and this schedule has has this and this here.
Okay, so we'll have to tell.
We have to tell Mrs. Purdue something different.
Yep.
Okay, again, notice that A, B, and C have to be attending all of the things that happen here. So every day, everything that you do will meet, whether it's in person or not. So something will happen each day. And then this is just a schedule broken down by Group A and Group B. So what Group A would do. So Group A is in person during this yellow portion. And then Group A is not in person in the second half of the week, but they are meeting remotely. Whichever schedule you have, you might want to print it and bring it with you to school. It can help. It'll take you about a week to get used to it. What I know from doing this in previous years, even when I used to work with 6th graders, whatever we do here, it takes just a little bit of time to get used to it. And then once you're used to it, you'll know it's second nature. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would fully expect to be nervous on your first day and unsure of where you're going and what you're supposed to do and stuff like that. And the one thing I would also expect you to know is that you're not the only person that feels that way. Like I met with 6th graders this morning. I had no clue what I was doing, right? They didn't know what they were doing. And we figured it out. And the next time I see them, which will actually be a week from today, we'll be better. So every time you do this, it's going to get a little bit easier. Just rest assured in that. So no matter what, this is always going to get a little bit better as we go. This is a similar schedule for Group B. But here in the Group B schedule, Ms. Benoit, you see how it goes back to A and B.
Yeah, it was
weird.
Like a copy paste thing.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on for that. So then Group B, I see you second half of the week, and you will have been remote the first half, and then you return to the building the second half. And then Group C, you have to be here, right? So you'll be remote for everything that we're doing, just like everybody else. I got to tell you, Group C people, you have the biggest challenge in this, and that's just making sure that you can keep track of everything that's going on. And then my suggestion to you specifically, Group C people, is that student support time is going to be huge for you. If you need extra help or you need extra some sort of reinforcement of what we're doing or another explanation or something, that student support time is going to be the prime time for you to get that. The class time is going to be tough because I'm going to be focused on the people that are in the room. You'll be here with me. You'll have something to do, but it's going to be tough to answer questions for you because I've got the people in front of me that I want to focus on because they're here. That said, though, that student support time is a prime time for you to get specific one-on-one help for you in whatever we're working on. So make sure you remember that. What you should bring to school. All right, don't bring pizza and don't throw your things in the air. When you look at this, like most importantly, you have to bring a mask. When I send my son to school, he's in 5th grade now. So when I send my son to school, we send him with 2 masks in case he wants to switch it up during the day. But make sure you have a mask. You cannot get him without a mask. Bring your backpack. So your backpack's going to have everything in it. It is your walking locker. What I would tell you about your backpack is make sure that whatever you take out of your backpack, you put back into your backpack. Your backpack should be set every single day. That idea of putting the things back in, most important at home, right? You cannot come here without your stuff. We don't have things for you here, right? I'm not going to have extra work for you. I'm not going to have pencils for you. You're not going to be able to borrow anything. Everything that you have is entirely in your backpack. So make sure that gets here. You'll get your school IDs the first day that you're here, first period. Then every day that you come to school, you're going to need your ID. So your ID is going to get scanned, and they're going to check to see if you self-certified for your symptoms. And then they're going to release you to your class. When you immediately get here, the first thing you're going to do is walk directly to your first class. So on some days, it'll be your first period, and other days, it'll be your 6th period. So you're not going to go to the main gym. You're not going to go to the loft. You're not going to go to the lunchroom. None of that's going to happen. When you get here, you're going immediately to your first period class, your first period of the day class. And then you'll come into that room. You'll grab a wipe from the wipes. You'll wipe your desk and you'll sit. My suggestion to you is take your coat off, get your stuff out, get yourself comfortable in the room because you're going to travel with that stuff all day, right? When you get up from my class, the first thing I'm going to tell you is get dressed. You're going to put your coat back on, get packed, put all your things back in your backpack, and please don't dump it in your backpack because it's going to be a disaster. You've got to be organized in and organized out. And the last thing I'm going to say is we're going to get wipes and we'll wipe the desks down before we leave. Okay, in that backpack, you need all the stuff that you would have for school. So have a binder, that's for sure. Make sure you have a pencil case, like one of those plastic Delios. They're like $1, right? So if you can get to Target, they're like $1. Throw your stuff in that. You don't have to worry about it. It's protected. You're going to need your planner, which you should have gotten at the beginning of the year. You will not have your Chromebooks to start here, so we'll have no devices. Everything we're going to do on paper. Bring paper. That loose leaf paper is absolutely vital. Or notebooks. I prefer a notebook. That keeps all your paper collected in one place. The passing periods with the music is going to take some getting used to. Any books that you need, so any novels that you're working on in ELA, if you need your Springboard book, bring your Springboard book. For math, bring your note packet, right? Bring, Ms. Benoit has learning logs. We don't have a learning log, but you should have some sort of math notebook that you can use. I got to go back. Bloop. And then you're going to need a water bottle. You don't need a water bottle, but it'd be important to have a water bottle. None of the drinking fountains are on, so some of the water bottle fillers are working. But the drinking fountains are off. Also, during the passing periods, you're going to go directly from one room to the next. You cannot use the bathroom during the passing period. You're going to have to use it during class periods. And that's going to be on a limited basis because we don't want people congregating in the bathrooms. So my suggestion is to bring a water bottle. Don't overdo it with the water bottle. You're going to be here for 4 hours. If I think about it, 4 hours. You'll survive for 4 hours, right? Don't overdrink. And if you do bring something, please just bring water. Don't make a Gatorade. Don't bring coffee. Just bring water. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's not for show. It's not a status symbol to have something different. Water's fine. The expectations then for when you're here. First is this. You got to have the mask on the entire time. And this is difficult for me because I tend to joke and make sarcastic remarks, not at the expense of people, just to be fun. And it's hard to tell with me because you can't see my smile. So I understand this, so I'm going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to wear a mask the entire time. I'm going to ask you probably to speak up more than once because I don't hear very well as it is, and I kind of rely on being able to see people's lips to understand what they're saying. You're going to need your backpack always. Your backpack should be organized. When you're moving in the halls, there's arrows on the floor to make sure that you know what directions you're going. We're going to try to get everybody moving in the same direction always. That way we're not going this way, which could increase the possibility of spreading virus if there's somebody who's asymptomatic in the building. So follow those arrows. I can tell you right now, going out of my room, no matter what, you're going to the right. So it's either straight toward the bathrooms and then a left turn to the main corridor, or you're going to the right toward Mr. Krakowski's across our pod to go down the hallway that way. When you get to the passing period, the bell will ring. You'll leave this room. You'll go to the next room. You'll sit in your desk, and that's it. So there's no congregating. You're not going to find people. You're not going to your locker at all because everything's with you. The expectation is that you just travel from one place to the next. When you get there, you'll wipe down your desk, enter the classroom, have class. When we get done, I'll tell you 3 things. Get dressed, put your coat on, get packed, put your stuff away in your backpack effectively, and then wipe down. We'll wipe down the desks before you leave. Again, no bathroom, and there's no water fountains available during the passing periods. If you want to use hand sanitizer, we have it in the room. It does not smell good. I'll be telling you, that's the truth. But it's available. Use it as much as you want. And the expectation is you maintain safe distance in school. So the desks are really spread out. Then, if you are home and you're doing this remotely, holy cow, you are not, I'm not going to say you're challenged at this point because you're an experienced remote learner. The expectations do not change for you. The expectation is that you are working just as hard as everybody else that is here. And I think most importantly is that you've got to be very active in what you're doing. Making sure that you understand what's happening is on you. And that's the hardest thing about being remote. Being remote requires you to be the person who's most in charge. So just to give you some behind the scenes, what we've seen this year specifically about remote learning is we've got more kids than we've ever had before. Not to say that there's a lot, but there's more kids than we've ever had before failing. And they're failing because what I think is that their teachers in the past did a ton of stuff for them. A lot of running around, a lot of making sure, a lot of extra encouragement that came from teachers that got those kids to get something in to get them to pass. And you don't have that in remote, right? In remote, it's all on you. And that's what causes kids to fail because they're not quite ready. They're not mature enough to do that. So if you're going to be remote, the most important thing I can tell you to do is 1, stay with the schedule. Don't fall behind. 2, ask questions when you need to. 3, absolutely vital. You've got to use that student support time. If you don't use that student support time and you start floundering around and you're not doing well, there's no magic way to catch up. Okay, your best resource in the room is number 1, your motivation, and the second best resource is me. And if you're not finding me to get help, that's going to be a problem. Okay, the last thing is this: whether you're here or not, everything we do is super important. Everything we do is a step toward you being better at this next year. And I can't stress enough, like next year is the thing where you don't want to go to that school and be struggling right off the bat because you didn't take the time to do the work this year. Do everything you can this year to be the best that you can be. And next year is just going to be that little bit easier, which will make that transition to the big school and the GPAs and the grades matter and passing the classes matter. All that will be a lot easier on you every single step you take forward this year. Okay, if you have questions, hey, there's me. This is me. And this is me and little me and Mrs. Benoit's Bitmoji. So I put Mrs. Benoit's in there. If you have questions, just send me an email. I'm more than welcome to answer your questions. Just send me something that gives me an idea of what you need to know. Like I said, you're going to be nervous. You're going to not know what you're doing. And that's exactly what we do at school. So everything that we do in school is all based on, number 1, you don't know. Number 2, you start learning it. Number 3, you get it. Number 4, you own it, right? So everything that we do is based on that, whether it's math or language arts, the procedures in the lunchroom, how you get dressed in PE, all that stuff. There's the arc of that. It's your entire life, right? Everything that we do is based on that, not knowing and then turning it into knowing. So give yourself a break, come to school, learn how to do it. You'll figure it out. You'll be fine. All right. I'll see some of you Thursday, and I'll see some of you next Monday. Good luck.